Sometimes things need to change. And well, it's time to switch things up a little bit. How's it going? I'm Alex, and welcome to the Chicago Sports Corner. This channel used to be titled Chicago Sports Fan Reactions. I am now changing that name. It's well delayed. It's been due for a couple of years now, and I feel like this is the right time to do this. I've told this story a couple times before. I initially made this channel as a way to talk sports when I moved away for college for the first time. And in 2020, there really wasn't much to do, so I started making videos after each Bears game. And I recorded them and then uploaded them all on the same day. I think it was the day after the season ended and they had their playoff loss against the Saints. I uploaded all of them at once. I then did the Blackhawks in their 56-game shortened COVID season. That was kind of weird. And then I continued to make content based on the Bears, the Blackhawks, and, well, now I've started to do a little bit of Cubs content. But I initially settled on Chicago Sports Fan Reactions. That was the placeholder name because I was so unsure of what to name the channel. It was just something that kept me from starting it was I have no idea what to name it. So I went with a placeholder, Chicago Sports Fan Reactions. And I have been too lazy over the last 5 years to make a change. That ends today as I welcome you to the Chicago Sports Corner. Now, why am I doing this right now? That's a pretty good question. I've been thinking about making the shift over the last 6 months, I want to say. But I'll tell you what, this feels like a nice break to do such a thing. The Chicago Blackhawks season just ended, and on this channel, I've been making, last year I made a Cubs video once every month. I plan to do the same thing again this year. And the Bears draft just happened this past weekend. Expect to see a video on that very shortly over the next couple hours or possibly tomorrow, depending on how things go for the rest of the day. But the point is, it's in between seasons. We just wrapped up everything 2025, 2026 had to offer, and we're shifting forward into 2026, 27. So I felt like in this short, 2-week span where we're in between seasons, I'd make the change and officially swap from the placeholder name that's been this channel's name for 5 years and finally give myself a bit of a proper identity in the space. That's really all it is. I never really loved the title Chicago Sports Fan Reactions. That's why I never addressed the channel as such. I always just went and kept it vague as the channel because I had no idea when I wanted to make the change and find something that I truly liked. So that's really it. That's the change. I'm just changing the name of the channel, the branding a little bit. I got rid of the mixed Chicago logo that was also supposed to be a placeholder that just ended up being the profile picture for 5 years. You can tell I was just really lazy with that. And I had the channel up. I've been doing a lot more over the last calendar year to put more content out on this channel. And I feel like I should take this in seriously as well and get rid of the placeholder name that has been attached to this channel, again, for half a decade. Look, over the last 2 years since I graduated college, this channel's been incredibly important to me. It has allowed me to continue to make content and feel like there's something that I can do to have fun within sports. Because as someone who's going into sports media and who has been struggling a little bit to find some solid, work, this has been a very nice outlet to still talk about sports and keep up, my chops for talking about sports on a regular basis and keep holding myself to a standard to, just be you, be authentic. that's the standard I hold myself to with this channel. I'm not shooting for high effort, heavily edited content. I pull up some, especially when it comes to Bears, that's the most heavily edited stuff that I've got. Every now and then I got a live reaction, and I pull up screenshots from the game. I'll go back and find some things that I saw during the broadcast, see what's, if there was anything on Twitter that I found interesting and want to highlight. That's really been the extent of the editing on this channel. I've always been someone that just wants to chat. That's really it. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to tell you how you should or shouldn't feel about this result, this game, this team, how you should watch sports. That I feel like specifically is something that I want to emphasize very much. Everyone watches sports differently, and too many times we run into problems where people expect people to watch sports in the way they watch it and not how you watch it. You watch it differently than I do, and that's totally fine. And sometimes that's also great, because then you're going to be able to see something that I don't. Yeah, I've always loved that about sports, is that you have your own perspective, but you could be sitting next to someone who's watching the exact same thing and is getting completely different takeaways and seeing something completely different in this play and in this moment. It's really cool, and that's one of those things that really draws me to the medium and the industry. And so all those factors have contributed to the fact that I changed my channel name. It was time for a change. I've been doing it for a while. I value this community, and I value the people who watch these videos, and I feel like it's time to forget the placeholders and find something a little bit more concrete and something that I can actually say, hey, this is what I run, as opposed to awkwardly saying, oh, my channel's Chicago Sports Fan Reactions. I can say, like, hey, my name's Alex. I run the Chicago Sports Corner on YouTube. It's a lot. So it makes talking about it a little bit easier, right? Anyways, that's all I wanted to say in this video. It's a long, long roundabout way to say it. I rambled a lot again, like I always do. And, I hope that this is a good a good step for the future, for the growth of this channel and this community. And I value the community here that, ends up tuning into the Bears post-game live streams. I'd like to do those again. Those were really fun this year. It was nice to really kind of get to talk to you guys a little bit more. Please let me know down in the comment section below if there's anything else you would like me to do to continue to foster this community, grow this community, how we can communicate amongst each other. And, I want to grow this community. And while the watch-alongs were fun, there's some other stuff that I could probably do. So if there's anything that you guys want to get involved with, I'd be more than happy to, oblige and build this community up. And look, as we get out of here, I'd like to real quick just say thank you all for 500 subscribers. As the Chicago Sports Fan Reactions era comes to an end, this channel's got over 500 now. It's kind of crazy. It was nothing, and then the I Still Own You game happened, and we kind of went up to over 200. I think we got close to 300 after the second Packers game that year. And it was kind of just stagnant. It was around that mark for a while. Views would peak when the Bears would lose a big game, blah, blah, blah. But over the last 6 months, we've seen, I've seen more people come in to watch the videos on a regular basis. Those live reactions of the Bears beating the Packers twice, they blew up, at least specifically when it came to this channel's history. And all of a sudden, I went from about 300 to 350 subscribers, and we're all the way up to 500 now. I think that that's super awesome. And anyone who has been introduced to my channel through one of those videos and has stuck around to watch some of my other content, thank you. That's super cool to kind of randomly encounter me reacting positively or negatively and be like, hey, I like this. And to not only do that, but watch some of the other videos and feel enough that I do a good enough job to earn your subscription. That's an honor. I mean, we've got over 160,000 total views on the channel. Now, probably 100,000 of those views are accumulated in like 5 videos, but 166,000 views nonetheless. That's pretty cool. So, thank you all for yet again sitting through another long update video. And I hope you come to stop by the Chicago Sports Corner every now and then and see what's cooking over here. I hope you enjoy your stay if you want to stick around. And yeah, Bears Draft and off-season review will be the first videos out for this new era in this channel's history. That's it for me. I'll see you all in the next one.